But yeah, on this topic, I mean, they've spoken a lot.
But we're forgetting that, like we're speaking of, I completely agree with what Jibril was saying in regards to, the red pill ideologies. And that's what I said in the last episode about our youth and our men and boys need to stick to the Sunnah, the Quran, the Sahaba, to have that inspiration from them rather than these red pill people, because it's not the same. We get our guidance and everything from Islam, and your masculinity and confidence will all come from Islam.
But the women need to be careful of it as well. I even had a conversation. I was trying to put someone together, an Afghan that I knew and another Afghan, and the sister said, I need to get me like an Andrew Tate. And she's like 5'1".
This is
5'1",
the thing.
not a supermodel. And she's talking about, I need an Andrew Tate.
But this is the thing, we don't quantify ourselves with that sort of thing at the end of the day. I'm not being funny, but the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ preferred to be with the poor. Yes. That's what I'm saying. If we follow the Sunnah and stuff, and I find myself sometimes being ungrateful, but I have to remind myself. It's a continual battle that we have to continue to remind ourselves.
That's good.
I have to humble myself.
I mean, to admit openly, I find myself being ungrateful as well. I was thinking about it, I was thinking like, I'm quite ungrateful. But the fact that you have that impulse, that self-impulse that you can check yourself, that's actually it's good, because if you were deluded to the fact, that's where you have a real problem. A lot of people, men and women, are deluded to the fact that they have a problem with gratitude. And do you know what it is that you'll find it a lot in what would seem to be from the outside insecure people. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. If someone is insecure means they're not secure in what they have, right? So for example, they may be insecure about their looks. A man and a woman, let's say it affects women disproportionately because of the modern age or whatever. A man might be very insecure about his finances, insecure. I think you can't really be fully insecure without being partly ungrateful. I'll tell you why. Because for you to say that, alhamdulillah, and say ashukru like, thanks be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it starts with i'tiraf bin ni'mah. You need to know that, which is admission that the ni'mah is there. So for example, if you can't even admit that you have certain characteristics, that physical characteristics, and then you've been given, like, for example, certain finances or a certain position in life, then your insecurity is actually blameworthy from an Islamic perspective. Because there's a partial negation of the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can you be so insecure? Like, a lot of people look in the mirror and they'll think it's humbleness. It's not humbleness. When you say, look, I'm a very ugly person, I don't even consider myself to be so nice. Look at this, I've got this and that, I've got these issues or whatever. Then you don't know the worth of what you've been given. You've got body dysmorphia. Like, that's a big thing nowadays. Body dysmorphia is a part of that is you're not grateful for what you actually have. Like, there's men and women of all types of shapes, sizes, and ages. And there's a market for each. Like, you were talking about 5'1", yeah? There's a market for 5'1" women.
Yeah, there is.
Do you know, I know friends of mine who are very interested in small, petite, like 5'1" women. And I know friends of mine who are actually interested, they cannot handle that at all. There's no chance that they'll be with a 5'1" woman. In fact, they want quite a big woman. And there's a massive market for that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So people need to know that what you have, you might not think it's a blessing, but it's a blessing to someone.
Yeah.
وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Do not wish what the other one has. So, Allah has given something to everyone, and insecurity is a big issue with marriages. But the solution to insecurity is gratitude, actually. And that goes back to what you were saying in the beginning.
Sorry, can I make a point, actually, just on that point? The other day I went to go, I think this is very important for men to deal with that issue, actually. I went with my mum to visit my dad's grave. And I think that is so important for everyone to do regularly, if they can. Go and visit the dead, because you realise that actually that is what's promised, and there's no difference between who is poor, who is rich, who was young, who was old. Inevitably, that's where we're going to end up. So realistically, what are we actually chasing for? What are we dying for in this dunya? It doesn't matter. My mum is looking at her husband in the grave. There's no 5'1", 5'6", nothing. You know, he's gone to his creator. So I think we need to humble ourselves to that level to realize actually, what is this self-worth?
There needs to be a lot of humility all around.
I just think personally,
That's why.
around.
Can
Big
we?
time.
I'm so sorry. Do you want to say something, sister?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's also about, you know, adapting and making it easy for your husband. So if he's going out to work and be a provider and working really long hours and you're thinking, oh, I haven't got my rose this year, then you've got to adapt yourself and think, okay, well, you know, realistically, what might be going through his head that has made him forget, well, he's working all the time. So maybe, you know, communication is a very important factor in a successful marriage. So you could, you know, lightly communicate it, but also don't have expectations that are unrealistic based on his hard work for the family and for you. So that's one point. But also as well, I think, you know, because of a lot of the sisters and a lot of the marriages these days, the wives are also working. So I think there's that dynamic to the relationship where, you know, some wives feel that their husbands are not being that grateful. So it works both ways, because especially if she's also trying to fulfill her, you know, what she, you know, role in the house, and she's working full time and then coming home and thinking, I'm trying to be a good wife, so I'm going to, you know, make it easy for my husband and my family and my kids, then there's that element as well. So the expectation obviously is going to be the very minimum, but perhaps a bit more, because she feels like maybe, you know, I'm going above and beyond as well. So you've got to assess the situation and you've got to be adaptable, in my opinion. Yeah.
You know what I think the crux of the matter is, and it all goes back to, you know, when we talk about Tawheed, people have this perception of Tawheed is, I go and praise Allah and I say Allah is one. That's my Tawheed. You cannot be so far away. That's a part of Tawheed. If you want to give the rights of your wife, you first give the rights of Allah. Because, bro, when you fix your relationship with Allah, from the get-go, if you're a man of taqwa, you're a man who praises Salah, you are God conscious, how do you think you're going to be towards your wife? Do you get it? So people work the other way around, like, yeah, I need to go to a marriage coach, and they're going, how can I be, what do women like, and this stuff. I forget all this nonsense. Yeah, we know this as well. But if you have a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have that, you know, Allah gives you the tawfiq, you have taqwa, you know, when it comes to your eyes, what you listen to, what you speak, where you walk to, Aki, you are basically, when you fix that, you are fixing, you're basically becoming the dream husband in your wife's eyes. And if she did the same, that is what I'm talking about, where you are conscious, because then you know that you wouldn't want to violate her rights. Because one of the things Islam emphasizes on is the haqq of someone else. That's why the Salaf would say we would stand in front of Allah with 70 sins between us and him, but not with somebody that we wrong. So much so the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would refuse burial of an individual who owed debt. Why the haqq of individuals? What about the haqq of your wife? What about you are oppressing? And I hear stories, bro, where men are oppressing their wives to a level, forget the basic haqq, bro, at least making her work for his lifestyle with the second or third wife, whatever. Right. This is a reality that's happening. Bro, wallahi, have mercy. Wallahi, simple stuff like, for example, bro, you're going, what's your wife's favorite drink? Cranberry. On the way, I'm going to get cranberry. Bro, do you know how much you mean for her? The fact that you thought about it, bro, it's simple. £1.50 or £2, whatever. It's something so simple. Argument's sake, your wife comes and says, my feet are hurting. How many men will do this? Come on, give your feet a massage. No, look, wallahi, let me be honest. People have this perception. You know what? I want to give my wife a feet massage. Yeah? What is it? The coconut oil? What oil is it? Yeah? Choose the oil. No problem, yeah? Why not? This is where the red pill and this, that.
Lavender's quite good.
Huh? Yeah? Oh, we learn from the chat. We learn from the chat. Yeah.
Argan oil.
Yeah, make sure it's organic, yeah? So the point is what? Do you not feel that you're less of a man when you do this stuff, especially coming from this filth red pill that, no, my wife, no, Aki, have mercy, man. This is your wife.
The men who follow red pill have like hardcore.
Yes.
They're the most insecure.
Yes.
That's without a doubt.
There's no doubt about that.
That's without a doubt.
The boys, please.
Crazy.
Can I say something?
Let's
Can I say something? I think we're talking a lot here, and it is quite surface. I think we need to understand human behavior. And when it comes to human behavior,
that's what you're here, Sister Fahima. Come on.
We adapt very quickly to our surroundings, environments, and what we're exposed to. And unfortunately, we do not have those so-called so-called influencers that we can look up to today as role models so that we can actually go into the right path.
Because the thing is, let me tell you something. No, I know you're not following me probably then, sister. Yeah, I talk a variety of stuff. Yeah, wallahi. And recently I've been heavily emphasizing on this stuff as well. But the thing is, the reason why is because, let me tell you something. Yeah, I don't want to. We did a segment here.
You're
which is going to come
actually
out
making low self-esteem of men that don't even have the kind of body that they may have.
No. But the thing is, they should get up. They should get. I'm so sorry, a man that's sleeping on his sofa. The point is this, though. I don't want to be an irresponsible public figure. You know why? Because I don't want to go and say, "Oh, me and my wife, look where we're going." Look, no. I'm so sorry. You know why? Because that is not true.
I don't mean that.
What do you
mean on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like for me, I just know in order for me, like how you're saying, to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have fear.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people don't understand that psychology does go in with Islam. We just don't talk about it. It is only the science the psychology is to be mindful and to practice. When you practice, that brings that reminder for gratefulness and contentmentness, and it reminds you as your rights and everything else that you need to do. We don't have that routine. We don't have that way of being. I cannot leave the house without reading Surah Yasin or a page of Quran every day for the last how many years. I have to wake up whatever time I have to for Fajr, but no, people will pick on how I look. But at the end of the day, those are the things that are more important, and is also obligatory, and it changes my personality, character, and how I see things. And I think when I'm coaching, I coach from all backgrounds, all parts of the world, and whatever it is. I'm this relationship coach who has over 4 million subscribers, and I get a lot of people coming to me from all different backgrounds. So it's not my personal experience, it is from a variety of things. People get triggered when I speak, but I'm not speaking from my personal experience. It's because I'm hearing to hundreds and thousands of women and men with these issues. And for me, especially when I'm coaching Muslims, I'm like, check yourself. What is it that you're doing? Don't tell me the terminology. How is that showing up for you in your lifestyle? When you're saying you are doing what you're doing, how is that showing up for you when you are practicing in your daily life? Because it's not just salah, it's in between your salah that it has to actually show up.
Two things.
I think that we're not doing that, and we don't have the real influences out there.
First thing, can you give me the nasiyah that you said that I'm not doing much of, so I can work on that? Number two.
No, I didn't mean like that.
No, it's not enough to mean. It's if you believe that as a social public figure I'm lacking on something, I would like to work on that, so it's totally fine. Number two, you mentioned a website. You can cut that
off. Sorry.
What you're doing, I trust your work. I'm doing it. MashaAllah, bless you. But I would just for that reason.
Sorry,
I'm just gonna beat that one, inshallah. But can you just tell me when you were saying that you didn't mean? Can you tell me personally what do you mean? Like you said I always talk about, but what is it that I can add on to it?
Because I think that people are not showing the struggles of life and what actually helps them through that struggle. And for me, it is actually the striving and going through the challenge and adversity, not just the outcome, but the journey. And that journey is really being in that sort of adversity and challenge, and then saying, you know what? It is about trust. It is about, in Islam, it's about, it's like, having tawakkul, but in psychology, it's having the law of attraction and manifestation. Okay, we can translate that if we wanted to. But at the same time, we're not talking about these sort of psychological things that we have to do as humans every day in our lives to check ourselves. It's not about, we have to understand a man and a woman. It will come naturally when you are seeking, the sort of direction, Sirat al-Mustaqim, the right path. And that takes practice every day for an individual. Then you will be, I don't actually look for things. It comes to me when I'm having a talk. SubhanAllah, I open my page, social media is on my side, where an article will come up because I'm going to be doing a show. And it actually comes to me because I'm seeking it. We're not seeking it. We're not actually practicing our faith. We don't even understand our faith. We know all the rules, but we're not actually doing the little things. Like I said, how many people, unless it's Ramadan or certain times of the year that we will do this, we need to take more interest in that. We need to emphasize more on Quran and that is my power and that is my protection. We don't talk about Islam in that way.
It's very true what she's saying, because for a marriage to be preserved amongst like all of the fitna and the mess outside, we need the aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, 100%. And I think, like, to use a psychology term, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the top of that being, fulfilling your potential. A lot of issues with men, and when they make mistakes and become bad husbands, there's usually something going on within themselves they're not satisfied with, and they feel like they're not fulfilling their potential, whether it's religiously, whether it's dunya-wise, and they become agitated individuals. They become individuals who seek validation or
Exactly.
self-esteem from somewhere else. Usually it's women as well. That's when the silly little DMs come and this, that, and the other. And it's like if a man who's busy, you know, the men from the past, they had a mission. They lived a life of purpose.
Yes.
And that's something that I feel like we don't really live a life of purpose. Yes, providing for your family is purposeful, but you know, like it's deeper. Like we men, our mission is above everything, you know, and we are missing that.
I understand what you're saying, but to me, bro,
There's no fear.
it's wallahi, I'm telling you, yeah, if the focus was given to pleasing Allah, our lives would change. I'm so sorry. We do not do that, bro. I'm so sorry. As men, we don't do that, bro. Sisters as well, they don't. But our focus is not pleasing Allah, bro. Our focus is not, oh, I miss Salah. Bro, you should not cry. You should be, wallahi, you should be. I'm not saying themselves, but wallahi, to miss a single Salah, oh, it should be the most catastrophic thing in your life.
But the thing is, they don't understand it's
This is the
catastrophic to
problem,
thing that
that-
they're focusing on out of the Salah.
Exactly, and that's the point. If your focal point was Allah and pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, bro, it's impossible. Allah says, if you forget my remembrance, I'll make you forget your own self. Only in my remembrance do your hearts find peace. Bro, Allah's telling you, you are programmed to find happiness in Him. What do? We go and chase many other stuff. I'm going to wrap up the show. Any last words quickly, Hijab? Any last words to say? Inshallah, and after that, let's wrap up.
I think that going back to, I think that's a good point about objectives and mission. And that's a really important key term, because it relates back to the question that I had, which is what does it take to be a good husband? I think that's one of the key ingredients. In fact, one of the things I always tell my son, yeah, you're what you tell him, but I said to him, you need to have your own objectives and have your own mission. Right? Obviously, at the heart of it is Quran for something like Allah. You know, this is talaq. Ironically,
I was referring to reformation.
yeah, well, it's to protect yourself and your family from hellfire. For us, Allah خلق الجن والإنس الذي يعبدون الله created the jinn and being separation, right? Now, that's how do you manifest that? And what you said that means is a good point about potential. Manuel Kant, it seems like one of the biggest philosophers in Western history. Yeah. He said one of the biggest sins, obviously for us, it's not like this, but it's an interesting way to put it. Is for a person not to explore their potential. Because if everyone in society does that, he said, then you wouldn't get innovation, you wouldn't get technology, you wouldn't get science, you wouldn't get whatever. And that applies to both husband and wife. And I'll be honest with you, I've noticed through like marriage and other things, and not just on my own marriage, I'm not counseling, but I've seen it from other marriages as well, is that you've got to appreciate that your wife is an individual with a lot more to offer than just her wife's duties. Now, if she feels like she's harboring potential that she could otherwise manifest with you, not in the picture, that's actually quite dangerous as well. So you've got to give her an outlet of that. Like, because I feel like we're living in an age now where everyone is comparing everything with everyone else at a level that has never happened before. Now, I'm not saying that, okay, we can easily say don't compare. Yeah, okay, that's fine, don't compare. I believe, we're social creatures, but we're also comparative creatures. We are going to compare. It's going to happen. Man's going to compare with other man, and woman's going to compare with other women. So yeah, there needs to be an aspect of gratitude to curb that, but also there needs to be an aspect of, all right, there's an outlet here as well. Because we talk about the man's needs for a second wife. The woman also has needs like that. She feels like, for example, one thing I've noticed is when a woman goes to the beach and she sees all these people, like, for example, wearing bikini or the park or something like that, women get very upset at the fact, a lot of them do, Muslim women, wait a minute, I don't get to do that. You know, I don't get the experience of going into the sea or going into the swimming pool. There's a lot of things I'm restricted from doing.
Okay,
And
let's
there
find
is a
new
theory
route.
in psychology.
You
I think it's
can
called,
go to the sea, but
no, but not in the
Not in
same
a
way.
bikini.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying about? I'm saying that I cannot remember. It's called replacement theory, or I think replacement theory. The idea that if you tell someone not to do something too much, that it can actually have the opposite, and that's where reverse psychology comes in. And this is interesting because the Quran actually alludes to this, which is that human beings transgressing. So you cannot just be top down.
and then
You don't do
continue
this,
straight
don't do this, don't do this with your wife. You need to give her some out. You really do need to give her outlets.
Go
Because if you don't
straight
give her
on,
those
and
outlets,
then turn
one day it can actually explode into something quite dangerous. You know, and these outlets need to be out, okay, like creative outlets. If your wife is great, you gotta see what she's like. You gotta see what your keys of your wife is. You gotta see if she's a creative person, what does she like to do? And then try and find an Islamic avenue where she can actually do those things. So she doesn't feel like she's always suppressing something.
It's like that.
You get what I'm saying?
Make that mistake.
I don't like that.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
That is press if you disagree and you have 1.5 minutes.
Sorry, I had no choice.
Yes, go sister.
Everyone's
You're 1.5
listening to
minutes
me.
starting now.
I have a question for the guys. Like, everyone's had really mature outlooks on how to be a good husband, right? But how much of that has to do with your age? Because I think the younger the guy is, the more immature he's going to be. And the older he is the more mature he's going to. Hold on.
1.5 minutes.
So I just want to ask the guys, because they're guys, do you feel like, hold on. Do you feel like that has something to do with the age, the way you look at it as a man?
No,
Okay, so the question
I'm
being
30,
asked
I'm
is...
33.
You're 33, I'm 34. 31?
I'm almost 35, so.
How much on? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think alhamdulillah, that's not alcohol and pork and all that. Alcohol and pork,
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
You see my peers from school. But what was I going to say? Yeah, they look mash up. I'm not going to lie, they look so mash up.
Yeah, so
It's
basically
crazy.
she's saying that the question is, does age play a...
No, I don't think it
Yeah.
does.
Does age-
Personally,
100%.
personally, I don't think it does.
Really? Why not? Bro,
Because do you know
I
what?
think it does.
Do you know what? You lot are going to school me on this. Sorry, there's 2 brothers I've got in front of my eyes.
Okay.
And I respect them so much, and they're young. And I just want to shout them out because I'm going to say them, Dawood and Suleiman. And they're young brothers. And then I say they're young, they're in their early 20s, mid 20s, you know. And their tarbiyah was different. Homeschooled. They were.
I would say a lot of men are immature, bro.
Do you know,
No,
you know what? Maybe I'm wrong because I've got them in front of my eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
bro.
So maybe I should
Islamically,
pass them
Bro,
out.
trust me,
they're educated Islamically, right? So they're going to be a bit more mature. But on
Exactly.
average,
Yes, on average, men are immature.
on
I'm so sorry.
average,
Biologically, you're only going to be fully developed in your prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, 24, 25.
At 24, 25.
Yeah.
You're actually going to be making judgments and decisions and things like
Exactly.
that. But your environment and your upbringing will make a difference.
So it's about
I've
society.
seen
It's
both.
not about
Yeah.
Muslim boys or
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
current
but as
Western society.
Muslim men,
I'm
we
just
should-
saying in practical, guys, I'm just saying, like, I just think
It's the role
age
of
has a lot to do with it. And
I agree.
It has something to do with it because of the experience that comes with.
I think it's the
yeah,
upbringing.
but I feel like most men, if they're going to be real and accountable, most of them do turn around and say, I started to mature around 35 or 33 or after 27 and stuff like that. So I'm just saying.
Can I ask a question on that? Because, you know, like, for example, the average age of marriage, I think, for the dominant population in this country
Yeah.
is like 28 for a woman and 32 or something like that for a man.
Yeah.
I got married when I was 20, for example. Yeah.
Wow.
So the Muslim community is completely different in terms of like where it starts to get married because of zina and all that kind of stuff and familial pressure.
Yes, yes.
So if, like, for example, if I don't know, to what extent is it to what you were saying is right, experience. It's like I've been driving a car for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Because I got the license when I was 17, yeah. Something like that, yeah. So I've been driving for, I don't know, 14 years, something like that. Now, let's say, for example, you get a person my age who's just got the license for 2 years. Now, I've had way more driving experience than he does.
Yeah, yeah.
Does marriage work in a similar way? Because, like, I've got so someone just got married for 2 years, but he's 45.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be asking me for advice in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I
You know what
agree.
mean? So his age is irrelevant
I
to the
agree.
situation.
But
I
also,
agree.
I would say,
depends.
because me and my husband also got married at 22, 23.
Yes.
Oh, wow,
We got
mashallah,
married young. And I would say, although we were mature at that age, we have matured
That's
together
what I
as
mean.
well.
That's the
with
point.
the experience
Yes.
of being married, but
Yes.
you have to be within it.
Yes,
Like
yes,
having
yes.
values. When you have certain values, then they grow. But if you don't have the values initially, then those are the things that will make you in a particular way where you might find them irresponsible or not responsible. Because I speak to a lot of young men, and to be honest, I actually do admire, because today everything is so open. They don't have an excuse not to know certain things, and they have much more wisdom than even our parents, as much as they need to teach us. I think they're much more open to knowledge and even what is happening in the world. So I really don't think it's to do with age.
Can I ask you a question? I'm actually curious.
All right, quickly, because we're running...
What if a man has been in multiple relationships at the same time? Is he more experienced? Like, for example, is it the fact that I'm just saying, like,
Experienced
it's more
in what way,
like,
though?
for example, like, say for instance,
how to deal with women's psychology.
I don't know, in whatever, like, I don't know, like, in general, in marriage, like, for example, if this guy has been married, let's say, to 2 women for a certain amount, or 3. Or but let's just say for the sake of argument, who's more experienced? A Muslim man has been married for let's just say 3 years to 3 women, or a Muslim man that's been married to 1 woman for 10 years. I don't know.
I just think
with 3.
No, it depends.
3.
If
If we're talking about women's psychology,
that's quite
the man with
mature.
3.
If they can manage all 3, that's quite mature. If they can manage for a long term, that's also mature. So we also have to break it down because we're very generalizing about a lot of these things. You have to be quite specific and focused. Mature in what way? Mature in actually bringing a house, or mature in emotional intelligence, mature in all of this kind of things. There's so many different categories.
I think where you're coming is about understanding how to be with a woman or how to deal with a woman.
Well, we are very complicated. It's not just one way.
It's true, but we're talking about. I think maybe you're coming from an angle where it's a man who has had a jahiliyyah and his whatever it may be. No, there's something to be proud of. It should be ashamed of. But the reality is this, bro. Of course it does. The reality is this, though. Of course, the way he operates with women, he has an insight. He has
and the thing is, remember, he doesn't need to be
you
the finished
allow-
article. He might not be the most. He doesn't need to be the most mature. But you need to. You guys need to mature.
Are being branded as these right-wing conservative talking, but it's like, no, they're just kind of telling the truth, what we see before our eyes, and the agenda doesn't like it. So I feel for your brother. It's very weird because PBD walked in here today, my CEO, who I co-host the show. Russell Brand just did a show. It was like, we were just on, Russell Brand was just on. And now he's dealing with this, and it's kind of crazy. So, what we say, believe all women, don't believe all men, whatever. It's just like, let's solve for the truth, let's solve for what's right, and we'll all be better for it. Anyway, thank you guys for all being here, and appreciate you guys all tuning in. Sub to the channel, and we'll see you guys on Thursday with hopefully less allegations from less credible people. We'll see you guys then. Thank you, baby.
Caution. Please watch the speed limit. Caution. Please mind the speed limit. Caution. Please watch the speed limit.
Welcome to our studio audience. Look at these 3 good-looking guys. Give these guys a round of applause right here for being here. All right, welcome to the Saucecast, only on Valuetainment, the #1 channel in the world for entrepreneurs. This is the sexiest, clearly, sexiest financial show in the world, and this is where finance meets romance. And we're going to get into a lot of topics today, as you guys know. My name is Adam Sazek. This is the Saucecast. You can call me Saz, along with my lovely co-host and our friends today.
Yes.
We have one goal, we have one objective, we have one main purpose, and that is to make sure that you guys out there get paid, laid, and do it your way. This is what we do around here. So before we meet our lovely guests and our main guest, one just don't mess with that dude type of dude.
Looks like that dude.
Let's discuss some of the topics we're going to be getting into today so everyone's familiar with what's going on. Obviously, there's going to be a backdrop of money and everything that kind of comes with that, relationships, since this is where finance meets romance. But we're going to have this conversation. So one of the most famous rugby players in the world admits to having sex with 3 women a day. You attribute that, what?
That's what we need.
There we go. So is that attributed to status? Is that attributed to money? Is that attributed to looks? We'll have that conversation. And why women, what'd you say? Or cardio, no doubt. So we'll have that conversation about what women are attracted to in that type of men, which will lead us to a conversation about polygamy. And then discuss this concept at length. exact opposite of polygamy is polyandry. That's where women have multiple husbands. We'll weigh in on that.
Well, the opposite of polygyny is polyamory.
Is that how you say it? Polygyny?
Polygamy is just
Time to get the job
under
done.
the umbrella. And then a specific type, when a man has multiple women, is polygyny.
Polygyny.
Polyandry is a woman that has multiple.
Guys, this is why we bring extras like Mike Rashid on this subject to correct me. Yeah. I got trouble keeping one.
I like you, Mike.
Stop sucking up to the guest, Nat. Relax.
I like
Pump
you,
your brakes. So we'll have that conversation, and then we'll also have a conversation about, are there rules to the game of dating the highest of status men, Hollywood A-listers? Are some women willing to basically put their ego aside and be the number 2 or the +1 to a man like that, or maybe even to a great police officer type of guy? We know about that situation, so we'll have that conversation. We're gonna get Mike's advice to young men out there getting their shit together. We'll talk about one of the more famous TikTok influencers losing his virginity and how it went down in an incredible way.
Get ready.
You still gotta
to
lose
turn
yours.
right.
Root for us, a lot of guys in the chat out there. And then of course,
Turn
we're
right.
gonna bring up everything that's going on with Logan Paul, Nina Agdal, Dylan Dennis, Andrew Tate weighed in on this. Jake Paul has some things to say. Mike Rashid has some things to say about Jake Paul.
Please
I got
mind
lectured
speak.
at the lunch we were at the other day by Nina Agdal's ex-business manager, who's a good friend of mine. She's like, you used to be friends with Nina. Why don't you have her back? I'm like, that was 10 years ago that I was friends with Nina. You know whose back I have? The audience's back.
Get ready.
So that's
to
why I bring
turn
the
right.
subject up. So she might not be happy that I'm talking about Nina, but you know who else is talking about Nina and Jake? Or
right.
Logan? Everyone in the world.
Yeah.
So, you don't even know who they are?
Find out.
Nina is Logan
the
Paul's
wife.
fiance. That's great. That's amazing that you don't know.
I know Logan. I know. It's my TV. I don't know.
All right. Well, with that being said, those are some of the topics we're going to do today. And of course, we're going to do some money and financing and all this fun stuff, because money does make the world go
Go
round.
straight to
We got Natalia right here. We got Malik out there.
Malik the
On the ones and twos.
Please watch this.
But, you know, you'll get some camera time. Just shoot, baby. With that being said, let's meet our amazing panel of guests. We got Mike Rashid in the house, internationally known on the microphone. Don't mess with this dude.
There it is.
He lives like a lion,
Keep right.
right?
That's right.
Without
And then
even
turn
trying.
right.
And he keeps the ladies crying when they're leaving. Yeah, sometimes I flow. Fitness guru, all around badass dude. Ladies man.
Turn
He's
right.
that type of dude that men want to be like and ladies want to be with. I'm just hyping you up just because I know it when I see it.
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
That's right.
You
What's
got
new,
bars.
brother?
You got bars.
Thank you, brother.
Man, just staying busy. Just my current
Cool.
business. Just
Please
working on
mind
scaling
speak.
them. You know, I'm always, when I start a business, I'm always thinking about the exit, right? So working on one in particular right now, 9-figure exit.
Wow.
Being ready for that. But other than that, just scaling, building, and traveling a lot, right? So we've been doing a lot of speaking all over the world. Tomorrow, I speak already, then hop on a red eye.
Caution.
Adam,
Please watch the
I speak
speed.
on that myself. So it's just staying on top of it.
What are the main businesses that you're focusing on now?
My main business is the Ambrosia Collective. That's myself. We have the fastest,
Caution.
well, the biggest,
Please mind
number
speed.
one plant-based protein in the country, which is major. So just did a deal with Sprouts, working on Whole Foods now, and it's a lot to manage and stay on top of. So, you know, it's interesting. We started that business with like 30 grand, right? It's small, and it's grown so big, and it's like multiple businesses in one business. So, you know, it's a huge learning curve. Staying on top of things, hiring the right people, the snipers, to stay on top of certain things, and you know, it's kind of like growing things. It's hard delegating things. You're good at certain things, but there's people that do better, right? So it's a degree of ability to do that, but you know, you cannot scale without
Keep left.
into the business.
Mike, let me ask you. You weren't always a business guy. You started off
I've
as what?
always-
Fitness?
I've always been business.
Always business.
Yeah.
Give me your come up stories. You did this and then.
Caution.
Yeah, like
Please
before,
watch the speed.
Yeah.
I was a businessman. I was an entrepreneur, but it was illegal. I was, you know what I'm saying? You know, embarrassed about my past, but it was marijuana, wholesale, like a lot. So I used to move a lot to the East Coast. And like,
I call that moving weight.
moving weight. Just for easy math, you get a pound for like $500. You're supposed to get 1,000, give or take, right? So I was trying to bother for that. So that was my first introduction.
And how did you transition from illegal moving weight to more legal side of moving that weight?
I attracted a disease situation to myself to prevent something worse from happening. So I caught a couple cases actually, and I went on the run. I was using it for like 7 years. So during that time, it was like a grace period for me to prove to myself whether I'm a good person or not, because they were trying to give me a lot of time. So I was making all the right decisions. It was hard because, you know, when you have everything and then you have nothing like that fast. My father always said this. He said, listen, son, we are people of character. And character is developed or shown when things are hard. When your back's against the wall, how you gonna act, how you gonna treat people. So always put a smile on your face. Don't complain, don't tell everybody your problems, and just fix it, get out of it. And that's exactly what I did. And it was really hard, I ain't gonna lie. But I did, I stuck to the script with that. And because of that, when they finally got me, U.S. Marshals, everything worked out. Everything worked out. I hired a really good attorney, I did the cases, and I'm free. You know what I'm saying? And I started my legal businesses while I was a fugitive, so it's kind of
ironic.
Yeah.
You gotta have that transition.
Hey, listen. So it was
they say that tough times don't last, but tough people do.
That's a fact.
That's where you're at. All right, last question before we meet the ladies. Relationship status. I mean, you're all over the world, international, microphone. One girl, two girl, all girls. Where you at relationship-wise?
Listen, I typically practice religion in my romantic affairs. After my last relationship, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that right now. However, as time went on, and I was healed after that. That was like, I don't like breakups. I date with the intention of getting married. I don't just so if I'm sharing my time and space with somebody, it's in my mind. So that kind of like, you know, let me dating for a hot second, but then I shift out of that. And yeah, I'm open to a polygynous situation. I'm open to a monogamous situation with the right person. But that's not something I'm going to just take off the table because some of my because, you know, we can talk about the greater, but monogamy doesn't work for most people. I mean, we live in what's considered a monogamous society, but, you know, here in America, most marriages
Please mind the speed.
And the divorce. Yeah, so something's not working. However, there's places where monogamy and polygamy is changing, but they don't have high emotions at all. It's not part of the culture. But it also has a lot to do with why people get married, why people choose. I think love is a decision. You choose to love. People just go straight to feeling. This is not wise. So, you know, things got to be in place, things got to be important, right? And humans have to be out there.
Please watch the speed.
Boundaries, and then proceed. Keep them this relationship. That's not wise.
Well, that's just a little taste of what we're going to be discussing today. Mike is dropping some gems out there. If you like what Mike had to say, like the video, and subscribe to the channel because this is what we do around here. With that being said, let's meet our amazing panel. Nat, kick us off and we'll go around the horn here.
Awesome. Well, happy Sauce Cast Day, everybody. We're super excited to be here. We have a beautiful panel lined up today.
Probably the elected prettiest girls. I mean, we have a lot of pretty girls.
I know. We do. We got a nice
well done,
play.
ladies.
So you say that every single time. Not for the team.
I know I say it every single time, but I might not be lying this time.
This one before the show, he's like, we got a girl looking panel today. I'm like,
well, it was mostly because Mike's here, but besides that,
I know,
she
just trying to
got
the
some
girls,
nice
you know. But awesome. We appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you guys like the video. Stop right now, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are growing super, super fast, and you don't want to miss out on all the things we're doing. I will be reading all the super chats. I see my lovely haters who say I don't. I will read them. Don't worry. with the
Hooked on
panel.
Phonics worked for Nat. You know, I always say when I found her, she was homeless, penniless.
Stop saying that because
shoeless,
someone
toeless.
believed that.
Yeah,
Someone came up
'cause
to me at
it's
the
true.
mall and she was like,
But a man will do that for a woman.
Toeless?
Yeah, we're selling her toes on only feet. Let the host do his thing. But a man will do that for a woman. No woman is just going up to a random dude in a trash can. You're like, come on, buddy, let's go. You're
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But this is what us men do for you ladies out there. So have respect. With that being said, let's meet our lovely panel today. Jamie's back.
Please mind
He's in the house. Last time you were here, you were a little incognito. You had a hat on.
I
You
had
didn't
no
wanna-
idea I was
Yeah.
not ready to be brought up here, but
today
hey,
you did it.
nonetheless, we're here.
Today
I'm
you
ready.
did it.
Yep. Got
So
no hat.
tell us what you do for work and your relationship status.
So what I do for work, I own a very unique group fitness studio called The Office, which actually is like a tennis ball throw away from this building. And I'm actually a certified holistic nutritionist, lifestyle coach. I'm writing a cookbook. I have my own food program called the 21-Day Reset. I also have my own supplement line as well, so I can appreciate the growing pains that you were mentioning.
Happily taken to a nice, good-looking police officer.
Very nice. Good-looking.
Thank you for your service,
Thank
sir.
you for your service, Marcus.
Thank
We
you
love
for allowing your woman to leave the house and come here today. We appreciate you.
He's fully
What? Gentlemen. Speaking of a nice gentleman that's allowing his lovely lady to leave the house, we got Melissa in the house. We met on Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday. I can't even know what day. Labor Day. For Dan Fleischman's birthday. Dan, if you ever see this, happy birthday.
Love Dan.
This guy's the man. He puts together these influencer bunches. Wes Watson was there. McQueen was there. Dan Fleischman. You, your husband, Olivia. Names and names, and they were there. You were there. We met.
Please
You just
mind
moved from
me.
LA. Let's hear your story.
I was in California pretty much my whole life, and LA just changed, just not the same. So I told the girls
Watch.
earlier,
Please watch the speed.
the homeless and the crime. Like I just
Keep right and then
I
exit
love the
right.
way the state is ran. So and ever since I've been here, I mean, it's just
Exit
been
right.
You're loving it. And you got here in the summertime,
loving
so
it.
just wait till the winter hits.
Yes,
No
but
doubt.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the
And
heat.
what do you do for work? You're in real estate?
I'm a real estate.
Tell us about what's going on in the real estate market.
Well, honestly,
Interest rates are at 7-something%.
Well,
Fed fund
my
rate
house
is at
I got it for
5.5%.
8.9%.
Exactly. You got the prime
yeah,
rate at 8.5%.
Yeah, it's
How are people
slowly starting to go
functioning?
down a little bit.
Yeah.
Slowly. So.
What's sales like?
Well, I just started, so I'm 4 months in. I'm with Keller Williams, which to me, it's an awesome brokerage. The education for them is great. And I'm just transitioning because I was with the acting and modeling world for years. And you can't do that forever. You could do acting forever. I mean, but the modeling, no. And I needed a new challenge. During COVID, I tried getting into nursing. I was like halfway done, and then I just kept hearing how negative that industry is. Like, nurses are so underpaid and unappreciated. And I was like, do I really want to spend $100K or more in, going into that field? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be so much better in real estate.
And how long have you been married, by the way?
A year.
Congratulations. Let's see that rock.
Yeah, he did good.
Oh, yeah.
He did
Put a
good.
ring on that thing. You know what's crazy? You know what's super uncommon? You never see this? Pretty girls who are in the modeling, fitness, like that type of world, getting their real estate license. It never happens. That's sarcasm, guys. That's like, no one would say. If you were like, what? Sarcasm, guys. Well, congrats. And your husband's a general contractor.
Yeah,
so I'm
he's a
sure
GC, so we're a good team. So we're
Yeah.
literally flipping homes here and doing real estate.
Flipping homes.
Yeah, which is fun.
Well, congrats. Welcome to the show, Melissa. Thank you for being here. Moving right along. Jay Marie's back. That's right. This is your third time on the show. We've heard from our good friend, the Mezzanine. My dude. The man. He's going to take this clip and he's going to see it. He's going to put it on his Instagram. That dude's the man. Ladies, go look up the Mizzle. It's like a crazy disease. He's best friends with Dwayne Wade. He's out there. He's doing his thing. But he's the man. And I know he put us all
Have him on the
together.
podcast one day.
What's that?
We should have him on the podcast.
He was here in the office last week, but we'll see this. He'll love it. Give us what's new in your world.
But yeah, so thanks for having me again. What's new in my world? So much, honestly. Right now, I'm actually working on a program with a lot of women. They actually struggle. Well, many women struggle with something called PCOS. And I actually had it, and I was able to heal myself through it, changing my lifestyle.
Well, last time you were on the show, you said you had a little phrase that you were using for why you were saying it. What was that?
I was focused.
Okay, that's right.
I'm still focused.
Focusing on the bag. Don't focus too much on the bag, then you'll be an old hag. And then
No.
Don't you
That
worry.
wasn't a rhyme, but it is real talk.
Whoever
Okay.
will appreciate how focused I am.
That's right. Okay, well, welcome. We got your sister-in-law, Sydney's in the
she's
house.
mine.
This is your first podcast ever. Right. Don't be nervous,
know why
Sydney.
I'm here.
Yeah. Don't be nervous. Sydney, what's your story? What do you do for work? What's your relationship status?
Jamie Dalen's sister-in-law. I married her lovely brother.
Bless your fucking heart.
Yeah.
You're right.
I give her a speech that you don't know.
She is totally in here.
I do sales for headwear company called Imperial Headwear. South and West Florida.
Right. How long you been married?
4 years, dating
Wow.
8. Yeah. It's great.
Dating 8.
They're perfect.
You condone this?
I'm absolutely.
So at the wedding, when she
You're not gonna make it this
at the wedding, is she all drunk? She's like, "We're gonna be sisters now.
No, by
We're
then
gonna be
she's
best
like,
friends."
we were already best friends.
Okay, got it.
It worked out well.
All right. Well, you're a podcast virgin. Speaking of podcast virgins, we got Kara in the house. Kara. We're popping both your guys' podcast cherries today. Don't get creeped out, guys. What's that? Listen, there's a lot of ladies out there. Relax. We're talking about podcasting. Kara, what's your story? Where do you live? What do you do for work? What's your relationship status? How many guys are sliding in a DM? What's up?
Currently I live in Bristol, and I have a multitude of things going on right now.
Not men. It's
No,
work.
no.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, for
Got a
work.
multitude of men things going on. Oh, shit.
No, yeah.
Which is fun or fun? For both. Wow.
For
A married woman says. Wow. Yeah.
Very social. Yeah, no, I do bartending both in restaurant and private bartending. I work with dogs. I have like a couple projects under wraps currently that aren't finalized, but they're in motion as well for the dog industry.
What do you do with dogs?
Currently I'm walking them, and I'm like partnered with like a few different brands.
Nice. Do you ever do anything with cats?
I have cats.
I got 2 cats.
I have
that
2
need
cats.
a cat mom. Okay, and relationship status?
I'm
Nice. And how long you been in Miami?
2.5 years now.
From where?
From California.
Nice. Dude, Cali, New York, the whole world is moving here. Jamie, you grew up in Miami. Say, guys.
How can you see that?
Okay.
She said, yo.
We got Rissa in the house, who never runs late.
Go, Rissa.
Always on time. Never upsets me. But how are you, Rissa?
I'm not nearly as argumentative as some of the last ones.
That's true. That one girl that was
That's
sitting
because I know how to submit like a good speak.
That's right. Look what we're teaching these ladies out there. What's new in your world?
So I've been ladies that don't know me, I guess, since you guys are here. Personal trainer and reinstatement. So I'm working on
Please mind the speed.
my business structure, like branching out with a website and things like that. I also am in the middle of doing my CWC, which is certified wellness coach, and then I will graduate in May with a health education program for specialist training at the University of Florida. So that's what I'm doing.
And you're also a hot cougar who's dating a young man.
Oh, here we go. Yes, so come back to me.
Well, this is a dating show. Yeah. Teaching that young man lessons.
No, actually, he teaches me some too. If I can't respect him, I wouldn't be with him, so let's be real.
There you go. Why are you smiling, Malik? Malik got this, like, blushing back there. Something I don't know.
Malik's like, I like that. He's like, I like that.
Malik just said, ha ha ha, nah.
He's like, let me
All right,
find one.
well, welcome back, Rissa. Okay, and last but not least, what I would say is consistently has the best attitude on the show. She's the sweetest yet craziest girl I know. Maria. Maria's here. Maria, how you been? Where you been? How's your summer? It's been a couple months.
Oh, it's doing amazing. So right now working, I'm also a personal trainer, and right now I'm writing a book.
for women's mostly is.
I love when you say women's.
Women.
Forget about the women. The women's.
Women.
Yes.
I always have
I'm a
that
woman's
problem.
man, just so you know.
I always have that problem. So it's called Confident Reflection. So it's for females to improve their self-esteem with their relationship with foods. And it's doing amazing. It's like a small book. It's like just a guide for them. I put there like tips of what it helped me for them. So probably it will help them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing great.
And who are you dating these days?
Wow.
I'm still single.
Still single?
Yes.
You're looking for a man or a woman's?
A man.
Okay, just
But
checking.
a man.
A man's man.
A
How would you-
man. I don't want a man. No.
How would you define a man's man?
I don't know. That's why I'm still single. She's here.
Are all the guys that are approaching you like more woman's mans than man's mans? What's going on? What are you saying?
I got you, girl. I'll bring you to a tactical competition.
Bro, right now my DMs are men, but they just want other men.
What do those man's mans want from a woman like you?
Bro, you know.
I don't know. I would never do something like that. What do you think they
Oh
want?
yeah. Oh, an angel.
They
Oh my
probably just
god.
want to get to know you and go on a picnic and get some ass, but that's...
Exactly. Last option.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's the last option.
Well, you know, mans likes pretty women, so congratulations. You could be an ugly girl that's getting no DMs, so which one do you want? Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. You get to vet the man. The man has to shoot a shot. Anyway, with that being said, what a lovely panel. We didn't all dress in black and purpose. I think we knew Mike Rashid was going to be here. Go black and white.
Please, Mike.
Karen dressed in white. So here we go. Well, guys, let's have a conversation of a certain type of men just have status. And it helps when they're millionaires and they're good looking and they play sports and they're on TV. This type of man can kind of have any woman he wants. And some literally do. So, Malik, would you pull up this article of our friend? Now, I don't know this guy. I'm not a rugby fan. If this was an NFL player or an NBA player, I'd probably be more familiar. But there's a rugby player, punch in on this, Danny Cipriani. Good looking dude. He says he reveals he used to sleep with 3 women a day at the height of his fame, including dalliances with Katie Price and Lindsay Lohan when she used to be hot and relevant. Let's show a picture of this guy. Okay, there he is with one of his ladies. There he is.
Please, Mike.
Keep scrolling down just so you guys get a feel for him. All right, like, ladies, rate that guy. Just yell the number out. 1 through
6.
So not the best looking guy. Nobody said 8, 9, or 10? So gentlemen, you don't need to be at 8, 9, or 10. Take down hot women.
You just need famous, to be famous, and a lot of money. That's it. You'll be okay.
I mean, pretty much the whole purpose of the show right here. So he admitted that he by 3 women a day. He says that, quote unquote, sometimes they were women off the street. They were porn stars, actresses, Lindsay Lohan, Katie Price. But now he's 35, married to a 42-year-old woman. Who's a mental health campaigner. See, there's a precedent here, Arissa.
I knew there was a
Yeah. I don't know what kind of shit your 26-year-old boyfriend was up to, but if he's banging 3 women a day, you know, seek help from a mental health campaigner. So here's what I want to understand here. I want to get this from the ladies, and then I'm going to bring Mike, bring the big stick at the end of this. Time and time again, why do women find these types of men attractive? Why do they continually go after a guy who they know is getting tons of women? You're one of many. What is it about this type of guy where a woman's like, I don't know, let me give it a shot, okay? What do you think?
Out of the gate, I think maybe they think in terms of any kind of like first off.
They think that they're going to be the one when they're really just one of the many. Or one of 3.
Apparently, yes.
Okay.
That would be my first.
What do you think?
Go straight on this one.
Go D?
I mean, I just think it's a lack of confidence. Like when a woman would just sleep with a guy just because of his status like that. You know?
You think it's a woman's lack of confidence?
Yeah, because sometimes women just, they will go after men with a lot of money or athletes to make themselves feel better. I would never go for that.
How does that make them feel better?
because the athlete wants to sleep with her. I mean, it's
So they're like
status
pick me
thing.
girls.
Yeah.
Please mind the speed.
How many of you girls know girls like this that would like, listen, you're all pretty girls. I'm sure you get approached by athletes, famous people, or you know girlfriends that do, that have slept with someone pretty famous. Show of hands. Guys, raise your hands high. They can't see them. So most of you guys know someone who has slept with a famous athlete, a Hollywood A-list or what have you. How many of them are still dating that guy? 0. Okay, so you guys are well aware that when you're entering this type of situation, you're one of many and it's a hit and quit situation. But you say a lot of it is coming down to confidence. Does this help or hurt their confidence when they get a guy like that?
I don't know. I mean, did you guys feel fine? Was it just like a fuck to you? Can I say that word? Like, I don't know. To me, I would just not want to give those kind of guys my body knowing that they don't care. It's just an easy lay. Like, how did it make you guys feel? Like, did it make you?
It wasn't me, it was my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jackie. There you go.
Love it.
Yeah. So it was your friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
be honest,
different.
Rissa, were you like, so what was it like? What's up? What's up? How'd it go?
Not really. You already know, Adam, that status isn't the most important thing to me. It's really character and vibes. So, I mean, the status is great and all. I mean, it would be nice to stand next to a man, you know, who was doing the most, but, you know, he could be doing the most inside my home, too. So
Doing what?
depends.
Yeah. Cleaning your home?
Making moves, making things happen. You know,
All right.
men can be doing the most in many ways. It doesn't just have to be in the limelight.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me some examples.
I mean, he could be doing the most, like being a good father and raising children with honor and integrity.
Yeah, we're not there yet. though.
Okay.
We're just
You asked,
dating.
you asked.
This is a hookup culture. Maria, a man of status, rich like this, I think you gave him a 4?
Yeah.
6?
No, I
So
mean,
maybe
for me,
he's
it
good
was like
looking,
a
but
6.
maybe he's not the best looking. Why do women continually throw themselves at a guy like this?
I feel like this type of men, they attract women
Woman?
that are more, they see this guy more like an investment instead of someone that they can date him. So an investment in their fame and the money.
Yep.
So this type of dudes, usually they attract that type of woman until they find a woman that they don't care about that and they care about actually what is inside. And that's when I feel like they transition to getting this oldest hoes and then, okay, I'm gonna marry this girl.
Yeah, so when you say investments, how so?
Investment in regards of, oh, if I'm with this dude, I'm on one night with this dude, I can get this back, this money, maybe this, I can be in this boat, that kind of investment. And also the fame investment, like, oh, I hook up with this dude, okay, famous, you know?
It's interesting that you're using the term investment.
Yes.
But this just seems like a transactional sex relationship.
Exactly.
He's gonna hit it, she's gonna try to get something out of it, whether it's time on a boat, jewelry, bag, whatever.
I feel
it
like
doesn't seem like an investment.
I feel like this man actually attracts this type of woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kara, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think it's just like an extrinsic kind of like situation that, you know, like the woman probably just doesn't like really, I would say like, you know, she's not looking to it for like a relationship aspect. This probably is like, okay, like what can I get out of it? It's, yeah, absolutely. Like, what is it? How is it going to benefit me? And I think like also like bragging rights of, you know, I, you know, was with this person or like I want to hang around this person's crowd. Like, you know.
Touch on that, bragging rights. Walk me through that. Who are they bragging to?
Like their friends and like to be able to like probably post on social media. I'm not like 100% sure, but like this is my.
Listen, Kara, let's stay right here.
Yeah.
Your friend, you, whoever, one of these girls, you just sleep with, pick a name. Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, this guy who's famous in the UK. Pick a famous guy. Walk me through the bragging rights conversation.
I mean, yeah, it would just be like, oh, like, you know, I slept with him and now he's like messaging me, or, you know, like I get, he wants to do this for me. Because a lot of it is like a lot of talk. Like they get, because these men, they talk more than they act. And so the women take like the talk and they're like, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. But, you know, and then.
And do you think the guy is lying to her?
Usually.
Is he lying to her after he already got some?
I think it's usually before, but like sometimes even
Yeah.
like after. Like, you know, I've seen friends of mine who, you know, they'll invite them out because they just want to have pretty girls that come to the club with them. They want to like be, and you know, usually these men, you know, they want to have beautiful women around them all the time. So they, you know, take the woman and then, you know, they just like, oh, come to the club, like bring your friends, but then.
This is why they say that women fall in love with their ears and men fall in love with their eyes. Because women, and men, I'm gonna do this for you, girl. I'm gonna buy you this. I'm gonna take you here. Women are like, oh my God. Whereas men are very visual creatures. So women lie with their looks. You got high heels on. You're not really 5'8". You're 5'5". Okay.
I'm so guilty of
You
that
had
one.
you had a B cup titties. Now somehow you got double D's. Your hair really ain't that long. You got extensions. Like your makeup, you know, you actually have kind of bad skin, but now your skin, like, women lie.
Chameleons.
Visually, chameleons. Men just lie.
Yeah,
So-
men just lie.
Because why are men lying? Because we want what?
Pose.
Well, I didn't say that.
I wanted
Okay.
to
Jamie
add on-
Marie,
yeah,
what's
I
your
wanted-
experience?
I wanted to add on the, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about experience, you know, but I will say, like Wayne said in one of his songs, he said, why give somebody my heart when she'd rather have a purse?
Oh my
You know?
God, you have no
Yeah.
idea. Lil
And,
Wayne
like,
said that, yes.
And it's true because men, like, you know, men, unfortunately, like in that status, they do attract women who are only, you know, looking for what she said, an investment. Because it's true, women who are, you know, genuine and which they probably rarely come across, you know, they want your time. And a lot of times those men don't have time. They're either flying here or doing this or doing that. So a woman knows that already subconsciously, and she's like, okay, so if it can't get your time, then I want everything that I can get out of you. And it's true, you know, unfortunately, like that's just how it is.
Gotcha. What's your experience there, Sydney?
I think women do it just for fame and fortune. Really, I think it's maybe climbing the social ladder, maybe it's monetary, like bags and things like that. I think it's probably a combination. I don't know. I'm no real experience in that, but that's.
Oh, you're not going to say that in front of your sister-in-law, that's for sure. I would never.
I mean, I think that's really the caveat of it all.
Okay. All right, let's make sense of this. We got Mike here. You've heard all the ladies here. So this dude's banging 3 chicks a day. You've heard all the ladies kind of weigh in on why they're doing it, status, bragging rights. You know, some ladies wouldn't do it. Some ladies are going to lie in front of their sister-in-law. You know. What's your take on this whole situation, Mike Rashid?
Yeah, it's interesting. Excuse me. You know, I've personally never had an issue getting women. When I was young, when I didn't have much money, I always had a rich social circle. Always had fun, always had pretty girlfriends, cool friends, good experiences. So me having money did not change any of that. However, I do see people who come up and get money, and now they have access to women, and they go crazy. They're girl crazy, right? Their whole existence is getting a girl, right? So these guys are, I guess, in a sense, making up for lost time, right? I personally have no desire for that because, and I think it's because of my experience, it's never been a lack of, ever, right? But for the women, I think it's, some of it is wishful thinking, some of it is delusion, and I'll tell you what I mean. I've been in situations before where a young lady speaks to me at a gym or something. I'm saying, hi, I'm being nice, and we should work out or something. I'm like, not really, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just like being nice or whatever. And then I'll see this person. I remember one time I seen this person, I walk in the gym on a treadmill or something next to a friend of mine, and I wave at, you know, both of them. And she tells my friend, not knowing we're friends, yeah, he's always trying to talk to me.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they want to be important and to an extent, right? And that's why I never usually date women that live where I'm at, right? It's always somewhere else. I don't want people in my business. I don't want somebody that's just chatty. You know
got
what
to
I'm saying?
import them from small towns.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. I know the type.
Small towns, countries, whatever, you know? But
don't know
I
already.
think that some of them, you know, is wishful thinking. Some of them, they do want that status. They want to be at their section at the club. Some of them are looking for a bag, like literally a bag or some jewelry or some...
Like
some-
literally a
some
bag.
bills paid, you know what
Why
I'm
make you
saying?
give a girl a purse when she'd rather have it?
Right.
Why give a girl a heart?
when
She'd rather have a purse. Yes, I
Right,
know.
so it's like, it is an exchange. I think it's fine. Like, if everybody's getting what they want, to each their own.
Yeah.
As long as, you know, I don't think the lying is cool. I think everybody should be honest and upfront with everything, because life would be a lot easier.
Yes.
But I think it's, at the end of the day, an exchange. And look, he got to a certain point to where he wanted to settle down and get married. You feel me? So it's not like a forever thing. And the women in that situation, I'm sure they're not proud of it. Some of them are. Some of them, you know, it's bizarre, but some are proud of that. You know what I mean? Front with everything because life would be a lot easier. But I think it's at the end of the day an exchange. And look, he got to a certain point to where he wanted to settle down and get married. You feel me? So it's not like a forever thing. And the women in that situation, I'm sure they're not proud of it. Some of them are. Some of them, you know, it's bizarre, but some are proud of that. You know what I mean? They want to tell people or let people know that they've done this and that. Little do they know, like, when I hear somebody mention something like that, I'm automatically turned off. I'm good. I'm good.
100%. Well, let's play a little game, ladies.
I'm scared.
So this gentleman,
Me
pull his
too.
picture
I
back up,
like
Malik.
with the games.
You know I like to play the game.
Always games.
At any point, you can ask me questions. We can have fun with that.
We'll ask
Put
you.
the
Yeah, I
picture
like
of our
that.
friend for a second, Malik. So here's this gentleman. Scroll down. Maybe there's a picture of him on the pitch. All right, there he is with his, I think, new wife. Keep going. Okay. All right, looks
Yeah.
angry there. He's on the
Great.
field. Keep going, baby. Okay, so this gentleman, got it. So, high value man, good looking, status, sleeps with 3 women a day, now settled down. If you could use one word to describe this man based on his sexual experience, what word would you pick? Melissa,
You didn't even give me a chance to think.
think about it.
One word that would describe him. Nympho?
Nympho.
Yeah.
Got it. J. Marie?
I was hoping he didn't pick me.
Well, just, guys, I'm going to pick every single one of you. So just think of the word. It's kind of how this works.
I don't know. Maybe he's adventurous.
Adventurous.
Oh.
Yeah, he's out there just slaying the dragon. Nat, what word would you give to this guy?
And it's just his whole story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say a word. I don't know. I would say maybe. Well, he's married now, so he's loyal to one person. So maybe.
All right, moving on. We're looking for one word.
An epiphany.
He's busy. He's busy.
He's busy.
Very busy.
Okay, so you're giving him an epiphany?
Exhausted.
Yeah, exhausted. That's a lot.
That's a good one, actually.
Okay. I'm winded out here, y'all. Okay. Who hasn't gone yet? Kara.
Okay. Indecisive, I guess.
Indecisive.
I like that.
All right. Go ahead, Rissa.
I mean, all I really thought when you said the 3 women a day thing was diseases.
The STD.
That's really all
Got
I thought.
Maria, what would you give him?
Non-self-respect.
No self-respect? You don't think he has self-respect?
No.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Mike, you've heard what the ladies had to say. What word would you give this guy?
Honest
Honest.
with himself.
Wow.
Listen, here's the thing. He has the means to live that life, right? Most do not. A lot of people want to live that life, right? Just to keep it 100. And he's articulating his feelings and his drive. And listen, when a man does not fully tap into who he is, his creativity, his flow, everything is kind of cranked up like a water hose. It's not straight, right? There's water's coming out, but not fully. When a man is suppressing his desires, because look, men have desires like women have desires. Our desires are different. You know, men and women are not the same. And at a certain age, man, we have like, it's like we're horny a
But
lot.
desires
I
are
don't think
different
it's
than 3
anything
girls
crazy.
in the same day.
But if everybody is okay with it, what's the problem?
These girls know exactly what they were walking
know,
into.
yeah.
They're going to his
I think-
house.
yeah, I
Look,
think
I
it's a
would
big
say a
deal.
guy like that is a freaking stud with a sex addiction problem. That's like kind of how I'd put it.
But what's
3 a
a-
day.
Some people
What's
like
a sex
that, though.
addiction? All
It's-
right,
Yeah.
if it's not interfering with his
And
work,
then turn that.
normal life, is it an addiction or is it just he's getting the opportunity to do what he
Look,
wants to do?
more power to you, buddy. If you ever see this, buddy, like, good work. I know guys, let's just say public figures, sports guys, big time names, like you would know the names, that
Right.
have
And then turn right.
dabbled in this type of activity. There is a
That's right.
sense of, like, there's one buddy that I call 2 to 10. Because he'll bang if you're 2, bang if you're 10. So at what point are you being a little bit more selective of who you're inviting into your bed? Now listen, for a guy like that, young, stud, money, dude, do you. Wrap it up, have the time of your life, homie. But I've seen it before. It becomes like, all right, bro, like, all right, dude, like, it's 2 in the morning, it's 2 a.m., we're out at the club, let's go, boom. Like, dude, that girl's a psychopath. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, it becomes a lifestyle that if you're doing 3 a day and you've only done 1 today, or God forbid 0, it's like, you, and you, let's go, we're going. And these girls are like, okay. And like, it just becomes part of your repertoire. And that can be a downfall for some of these guys. Because, listen, as you know, Mike, 1 girl, she's gonna have some drama in your life. 2 girls, headache. 3 girls a day? Buddy, you are fucking off the walls dealing with batshit crazy women.
I mean, that's on him welcoming that energy though into his life. So like, that's on that person. At the end
So
of the day.
I would say he's a stud. And exhausted. And likely an STD. All right, ladies, since we're on this game, picture this. He had sex with Lindsay Lohan, let's say. So let's just use her for the sake of this conversation, okay? Doesn't have to be Lindsay Lohan, but just let's use her as sort of a metaphor for this next question. So imagine it's Lindsay Lohan, and she admits, yeah, I was getting 3 dudes a day, okay? So this guy, stud, exhausted, STD, indecisive, all that. So now it's Lindsay Lohan, or pretty girl, a famous girl, what have you. What word would you use to describe her? Okay? What you got, Carol?
Right.
Indecisive? That's the 1 word? Okay, Sydney?
I mean, she's definitely exhausted.
Definitely exhausted. That's a nice way to put it. Maria?
Low self-respect.
Low self-respect. Got it. What do you think, Marissa?
Please watch the speech. I feel like if everybody's okay with it and it's like a polygamous relationship, it's different.
No. There's no polygamous relationship. She's just getting dick down 3 times a day. Lindsay Lohan. Worn out. Got it. What do you think, Nat? You got to come up with 1 word, not a whole diatribe. Moving on. Okay, yeah. Unsatisfied.
That last second.
No. Exactly. Thank you. What do you think?
I think
Jamie?
open.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's one way to put it. Yeah. Something got opened up, all right.
She's honest. She doesn't care.
Jamie,
She's like,
what do you
I don't
think?
know.
I'm gonna say she's adventurous because that's
What do you think, Melissa?
talented.
Talented. Interesting. All right, now for the real answer. Mike, what would you call a girl who's getting dick down 3 times a day?
Extremely high mileage.
Yeah. Okay.
What would you call her?
Well, it's interesting that you asked me. Thank you, guys. You guys are like, she's exhausted, she's open, she's talented, whatever it was.
1 word.
That to me is a hoe. Okay, guys? 3 letters, 1 word, 1 blowhand. There's a big difference, I think. Push back all you want for a dude who makes his way in this world, becomes a stud, famous athlete, and he is exploring his options, versus a chick with that exact same mentality. I think you guys are being a little more PG-13. She's adventurous. She's confused, unsatisfied. That's some hoe-ass shit.
Can I explain why?
Yes.
Y'all understand why?
No, they don't, Mike, because they would have said hoe
So
if they did.
that's a fact. So a woman is the gateway to sex. Y'all are the gatekeepers, right? We don't live in a rape culture, so for the most part. So it's hard for men to have sex. So once a man gets to that status and he's able to do it, I mean, he's indulgent. Women, it's very easy for y'all to get sex. It's extremely easy. Even unattractive women can get a decent looking guy. You know what I'm saying? So like he said, his homie got money, got status, probably a decent looking dude. It's crazy, right? So I think that
Everyone's get beer goggles at the end of the night. I get it.
The fact that it's so easy for women to get laid and it's not easy for men to get laid is just a weird thing.
It comes down to this, Mike. You hit the nail on the head about the women are the gatekeepers. So we've all heard this story before. I'll say it again. So what's a key that can open up any lock? That's a master key. What's a lock that can get opened up by any key? You're just a shitty lock. So understand there is a difference between a man and a woman having sex. So you're all beautiful women. Okay, let's use Melissa for a second. Let's just pretend you weren't married. If you went out to any bar, any club, and you went up to any man and you're like, hey, what's up? What are you up to tonight? He'd be like, oh shit, what's up, girl? How you doing? Hey, you want to get out of here? You want to go? He'll be like, yeah, cool. You'll be with buddies, he'll be with friends. He's like, I'm out. Peace. Bang, he's out. Now, I don't care how good looking I am, how much status, I don't care. It's Mike Rashid. He's gonna have to talk that girl up. He's gonna have to buy her drinks, he's gonna treat her right, prove to her that he's worthy of her time. And this might be some average 5 girl. So for a woman, the access to sex is so much easier than a man. So when we're kind of conflating these two things where, you know, they're both adventurous and they both are confused, it's like, no, he's made it in life, and these are sort of how the benefits of his success, whereas she is just a hoe. Anyone push back here? Tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm crazy, tell me it's a double standard, go ahead.
I mean, men sleeping around.
Of course, now you want to talk.
Okay, so I think just sleeping in general,
Yeah.
I think just sleeping around in general like deems you as like hoe activities. Let's be honest. You're opening your body to someone else.
Why do you think you bring a hoe to a hotel?
Exactly. There you go. Sure. But I think just in general, you doing that kind of deems you as like hoe activities. Now, does it look different if you're a female or a male? Yes, it's very different if you're doing that as a female or male. But in my opinion, I think it's hoe activities in the male side of things and female side of things, because you're letting somebody in like your internal. It's not just like hanging out with somebody.
And thank you for highlighting that. I'm not even joking right now.
Yes.
Okay, this is gonna be a little crude, so let me not use the word. Typically with a male-female relationship, one is doing the effing and one is getting effed. One is going inside someone. What? I know, but we're all grown-ups here now. We've all had sex, earmuffs. So there's a difference, like the invasiveness versus, you know, that whole thing. Is that true, Mike?
It's still a private part you're covering.
Okay, listen, just call the girl a hoe, Nat, and we can move on.
Well, it's hoe activity. Either way.
That's true. Yeah. I would say this. A man that does all this, him, stud. What's up, Poppy? A girl who does that is, just different standards. You might say that's double standards. I can't believe it.
Can we use the Queen's word? A prostitute.
Oh, he said all women are prostitutes. That's his words, not mine. Okay, thank you for that conversation, guys. Let's move on. So, Mike Rashid, you've spoken highly about polygamy. You're gonna correct me with the words. It's polygamy, polygyny. You know, I just moved to America, Bobby. I just learned how to speak English. But there's polygamy, there's polygyny, there's polyandry, polyamorous. So let's have a conversation about that. These words that, and then there's this other word that I think is a very weird word. What is that word?
Monogamy.
Monogamy, very weird. I don't know.
I never heard of that.
It's weird. I'm kidding, of course. So you've spoken highly about polygamy. One of your biggest viewed videos, you talk about it when I think the definition is where a man marries multiple women, or you said that a man can be in love with multiple women, or anyone, you can be in love with multiple people. So I guess for a man out there, it's funny, we did the big event with Fresh and Fit, right? It was a live event. You were here, you were in the back, that was awesome. And I asked the men out there, I said, how many of you guys want to have multiple wives or be in an open relationship where you have multiple women? And half the room was up like that. I was like, wow. And it was shocking to me. Wow. Thank you. Because some men are not even capable of holding down one dope hot chick, right? So where do you stand on all this? Who even qualifies for multiple women? And I'm not talking about the Middle East where it's normal, or Utah where it's Mormon. I'm just talking normal U.S. civilian life. What's your experience?
Yeah, you're right. So a man has to be qualified. First of all, a man has to be qualified for a woman. Right? Women are powerful. Like, there's a lot. It's a culture out there right now that really shits on women. And I think it's goofy. They trying to like, and you know, people will call me simp right now, but they wouldn't say that to my face.
That's right. That's right.
Well, but a lot of dudes will utilize things to make themselves more powerful than a woman, but no. It's almost like a one-to-one ratio when you factor in the joy that a woman brings to a man's life, right? Having a solid woman at home, your home is a home. I've had kids before with no curtains, no couch. Like I got a TV everywhere, but no couch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that guy, right? And we're not. Like men are not. We don't have the qualities that women have, and vice versa. So we need each other. There's no men versus women type of energy. So I always, and when I'm speaking to my community, I'm always telling them when they want to ask me about girls, it's like, no. Leave them alone. You're not ready, right? First of all, women mature a lot faster than us, right? A 22-year-old woman is a woman. A 22-year-old male is a boy, right?
Correct.
So it takes us longer to acquire resources and characteristics that a woman is attracted to, right? A man to have, like, legit wisdom, discernment, security, finances, things of that nature. It takes us longer to get that. We're not born with this thing. We have to acquire this thing.
Please mind the speed.
A woman, the things that we want in a woman, they're kind of born with it, right? Their looks, their sweetness, femininity, all of these things. It's something that they have already. So it's not a one-to-one ratio in terms of age, right? So it takes us longer to acquire these things. Now, a man, I don't like hookup culture. I think it's bad for our society as a whole, because when you hear men complaining about women, it's always a man's fault. It's like, yeah, but I put everything on the father first, right? Father's like, listen, it's our job to make sure our daughters are protected, are well-educated, have a high standard of things, right?
And keep them off the pole first.
Keep them right, exactly. Keep them content, safe, and then when it's time for them to get married, I hand my daughter off to her husband, and a man that I've helped choose. I know his family and the whole nine, right? And we're all a family. That's how it should be. But when we're just running through women like it's nothing, it's numbing them, like it's numbing us. It's bad for both of us, right? So I just don't. And I have to admit, when I was younger, I participated in that, but it never felt good to me. You know what I'm saying? And I had many times when I would feel like shit afterwards.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mike, how old are you?
46.
46?
Yeah.
Shit, black don't crack. Damn. Okay. So why did you feel like shit after having just casual sex?
I would know that this.
Malik, by the way, I text you.
I know that she really likes me, and I have no feelings. You know what I mean? I might have feelings in the beginning, but then after it's complete, then I'm like, why are you here?
Well, thank you for pointing this out. Yeah. Men are capable of having sex with a woman with zero emotional attachment. Yeah. What'd you think about that girl? I don't know. She had some fat ass, big titties, whatever. I was drunk. Like, men can do that. Yeah. Are any of you ladies, like, so would you agree that women need to have an emotional connection with a man, respect a man, have feelings for a man, not just casual sex? Or are women capable of doing what men do? Anyone?
I think women are absolutely capable.
You think there's women that are capable of that?
There's women that are.
Okay, you just went to right to porn stars. I'm talking about average men, you go porn stars.
Well, I don't know.
So no, those girls are getting paid for that. That is a transactional relationship. I'm talking about average girls.
Yes, there is.
There is? Who said that?
I
Jay Marie. Okay. Explain,
please.
please.
I think that, like he was talking about the hookup culture, right? And why it's so bad for women and men. And I think that it's like muscle. The more you exercise it, the more you get used to it. And having sex like that does numb women as well. And women, they just get used to it and they just continue. It's like it's just something that they continue to do. They're used
How many women do you know like this?
I have a lot of clients that are like that.
Okay. And how old were they?
They're young.
How old?
I would say from 22 and on, maybe.
And they just grew up with hookup culture, sex is transactional, zero emotion. Just like a dude.
Yeah, just like a guy, yeah.
And this was not a thing, in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. How much has social media played into this? How much has the modern feminist movement played in this? What do you think?
I think the feminist movement has played a huge role into it. And, women need, strong men nowadays. We do need that strong man to come in and look for something quality-wise, right? And I think that especially especially with social media and that instant gratification, it's getting women used to that too. They want the likes, they want this. And social media has created narcissistic men and women as well because of, you know, how quick it is to get attention from somebody. Oh, this guy didn't work out, I don't want to deal with him. Instead of looking within yourself, girlfriend, to see what you have inside of you that you need to fix and grow from. Screw that. I'm just gonna go to the next guy in the DM and see who wants to take me to dinner. That's what social media has created, and everyone's so used to that instant gratification. I'll sleep with this one, I'll sleep with that one, and then you become, you know, late 20s, early 30s, and you're like, why am I by myself? Because you did not take the time to get with yourself, you know, and become the woman you need to be so that you can give and nurture and care for the men.
Is it possible, ladies? So here's what's going on in society. Okay? Men have always had this instinctual hunter mentality.
These
You know,
mics
look, at this point in my life, if a guy bragged to me, bro, I've done this girl, it's like, dude, this was cool like 20 years ago. 20, you brag about the girls that you're with. As you grow up, you kind of want more quality than quantity. But there is an element of men, to at least when you're in your 20s for sure, to brag about the quantity. Dude, I did this and then I got this. Like, that's just like how dudes operate. Are women kind of doing the exact same thing? Like, I got this guy, I got this guy, I saw this one girl on TikTok that was basically like, I got 5 guys last night, bro. I got trained, it was awesome. Like, bragging about it on camera. Is it, but this is sort of pervasive. Is this what you're saying, you're seeing out there? Not necessarily the 5 guys in one night thing, but
you see women
bragging about the body
they think
count.
it's something to brag about. Honestly, if I hear that from a girl, I categorize you automatically. You know
What do you
I mean?
categorize her as?
I categorize you as you don't take yourself serious. You don't value yourself. You know, and a man can tell. It's like you can smell it. If a girl is either can take herself serious or not. It's something that you can see. Your essence, how you walk into a room. You can see all of that, and unfortunately, it makes me sad because now men are so abusive with women. It makes me sad that there's women who don't value themselves enough to at least put value in, you know, real women.
Gotcha. Well, you know, they say that you can attain the man, ladies, but can you retain the man? So any girl, especially if you're hot, can get a guy to bang you for one night, but can you get the ring, like Melissa? Show the ring, just if you don't mind. So like the type of dude that you want, high value, good looking, status, money, good character man, Mike Rashid type of dude, he's not just wifing you up because you're hot and hoish. There's gonna be a checklist of things he's gonna look for if he's gonna put a ring on it. Okay, and there's a big difference. And I think that's what a lot of ladies don't understand is, look, a guy will take you down, like my buddy 2 to 10, he'll take you down to Chinatown. Okay? But he's not gonna put a ring on it. So it's all, you have to ask yourself, who do you wanna be? So
you gotta think about this too. It's more than just the ring. Like, when I'm making a decision, I'm thinking about a lot, right? And I'm measuring a lot, and I'm asking a lot of questions, and I'm just very observant because I'm gonna, like, if I come into your world, I'm gonna be like a hurricane in your world in a good way, right? I'm gonna level you up in every capacity, you're gonna be living well, you have access to my social circle, my resources, you know what I'm saying? So I'm all in. So for me, it's a huge investment, right? It's not likely that I'm gonna meet a woman who has what I have. When I'm with somebody, I'll tell her like, yo, there's nobody that loves you as much as I do. Nobody would do for you what I would do.
These mics
You know what I'm saying? So you have to put that in perspective. So and it's not even like being a hoe, it's like having respect. Talking to you with respect. I don't nobody. I don't talk disrespectfully to you. But sometimes we're going through things and there's a disagreement and I'll correct some action or something like that. It doesn't feel good. So then you start snapping. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand. I'm like, you should do that. And if it's persistent, I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with it. If it can't be fixed, I'm not gonna deal with it because I'm the type of person that if I have a deficiency in some capacity, bring it to my attention, I'm gonna fix it. But I'm not naive to like, I know I'm almost, but not.
let me ask you this, Mike. You bring a girl into your world. Hurricane Mike Rashid just showed up, y'all. Hurricane 5, boom, just changed your life. What do you expect from her? Meaning, assuming you don't believe any money for her to contribute on any financial capacity whatsoever. She's good to go. You don't really quit your job, baby. You're with Hurricane Mike now. What are your expectations for her? What do you expect her? How does she need to act? What are you looking for? What does she need to bring to the table for a guy like you?
Yeah, good question. It's very simple. Peace. All I want is peace. That's it. Now, there's certain things like I want you to keep yourself looking good, smelling good. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Respect me. Don't embarrass me, right? When we're in public, we're a unified front. I don't like when people like arguing
The worst thing ever is to do to embarrass your man in public.
And
like
attitudes and all of that
worst
stuff.
thing ever. That's what?
No, I was just keep going.
Having
Did
attitudes.
you do that to your husband? To your boyfriend?
Not at all. I was,
okay, good girl.
I literally had a flashback
Don't
with my
say
mom.
that in
Like,
front of
don't embarrass me, Jamie. I'm like, okay, mom. Like,
No, it's that part though. Don't embarrass me. Like I'm not gonna embarrass you. So it's just having a degree of a high level of respect for me, which I'm gonna have to do, right? And I'm down to do everything. You know, when I meet somebody and I like them, and we're getting to know each other, I'm putting notes of everything. How much your mortgage, shoe size, favorite song, like everything. I wanna know everything, right? I have it. So, because I'm gonna come through and then once it's like I've assessed that, yup, but I didn't finish the question how a man has to be. Now, a man has to qualify himself just for one woman, right? You have to overly qualify yourself for two women, right?
Okay.
So,
Let's find a new route.
and here's the thing, like what I just said about even one. If I'm coming into your world,
Finding
I'm
a
like,
new route.
if I like you and you like me and you're spending time with me, I'm flattered. I'm like, this is great. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I'm with somebody, I'm like, this is great. I enjoy everything about it, right? So with that being said, I want to exalt you. I want to take care of you. I want to like guide you. I want you to be proud of me, right? And I want to be proud of you. So I'm doing everything. I know it sounds like super romantic, but that's just how I think. Because this is how I am in my life. With my friends, I want to be their best friend. My business partner, like you can't believe I'm a business partner. You know what I'm saying? So my woman, like, bro, I got the ultimate guy. Like that's like my ego, but my ego benefits my world. So that's just how I operate. And if I'm gonna ask somebody to share me with another woman, of course her cup has to be full. You know what I mean? So that's just how I am. So I'm not approaching a situation like that unless I know I can overly handle this.
Yeah, there's a lot of ladies who are sitting on this panel that might need get the towel.
These minds speak.
Salivating.
I feel like his personality is very rare and unique though compared to other men. Like you could tell. It's so good to even hear your way of thinking because you can influence other guys that are younger than you, still lost and going through, what normal guys do and like sleeping around and all that stuff. But like, you have morals still. You want to be romantic with your girl. You want to have that best friend and that team and that business partner, and it's totally fine for guys and girls to expect stuff in relationships. And you're making that very transparent and clear right off the bat. It sounds like in your relationship.
Yeah, it's an agreement.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just love. It's an agreement, right? I'm gonna be doing this. This is. I'm gonna be doing this. We honor our.
Straight to you're going into the business of life with someone. You need to have a mirrored emotional intelligence, something like a deep level, and keep that clarity and honesty. Use your words like an adult. Maintain the frequency and vibration with each other, and let's talk about it. Shit's gonna change just like the seasons comes up, and it's just how you respond versus how you react. So many things that people are reacting these days.
These minds speak.
You have to. Another thing that guys have to do is like you have to go into it. You have to implement rules, right? You're the patriarch, you're the man of the house. Right? So you can't go into it free willy expecting, well, you should know that. I'm like, nah. Let's talk about everything. And like, I'm a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I want to make sure things are as perfect as I can. Craft my situations. I like order. I don't like chaos. So, you have to do that. Lots of questions, lots of conversations.
Boundaries, lots of conversations.
Yes.
the next topic we're going to get to is literally rules and boundaries. But I want to play one clip. I want you to kind of break down the polygamy, what's the other word that I'm just learning? Polygyny. Okay. Here's a video. This is sort of the East versus West. You know, there's a whole debate right now about Eastern culture. You know, and a lot of times people don't understand where Andrew Tate was kind of coming from with multiple women and how he treats women. It's because Eastern culture, Middle Eastern culture. I think he spent some time in Dubai and the UAE and what was the other city again? What was the big city? Abu Dhabi. My apologies to our Emirati friends. Versus what's going on in the West. And as amazing as the West is, proud American, proud of Western society, from a moral standpoint, there seems to be a lot of moral decay. And a lot of it is the high body count of women and the lack of national pride and the hyper-individualism and not caring about your community, not caring about your family. So with the good comes the bad, right? You can also say a bunch of bad things about the Middle East, but what I will not say is bad about them is they do have more family values and more traditional values and more God-fearing, whereas the stats show in America today the fastest growing religion is atheism, and lack of family is sort of decaying the culture. You know, America was founded on rugged individualism and figuring it out, but what are the flaws in hyper-individualism? But here's a video right here of a man in the Middle East interacting with a reporter who has one wife, and he has, wait till you see how many wives he has, and they have a nice interaction. We make it a little bit bigger, Malik. But this is why we need to understand each other, not make fun of each other or argue with each other, because there's different cultures, different strokes for different folks. So here's a father with 17 wives and 84 kids laughing at the interviewer for only having one wife. Watch out just a little bit, Malik, to show the whole video. Just a tiny little bit.
Bottom right.
Yeah, and hit the audio and then hit play.
How many children do you have?
84.
84.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
70 wives.
17 wives.
Yes.
That's a lot of wives. I have one wife, which is.
One? This guy's got one wife.
Look at him. He can't even walk. What happened?
He's exhausted.
17 wives. He can't even
He's
walk.
exhausted, right? Sydney? So, look, there's an example of 50 different cultures come together for an interview. This guy's got 17 wives, 84 kids. He finds this white guy with one wife. One wife! It's just completely different cultures here. So, Mike, explain, I guess, just on a deeper level, the difference. Because I don't think people are going to be marrying multiple wives in America anytime soon. But the essence of what this conversation is.
Well, first and foremost, you got to think about the region that he lives in. And polygamy was never, it wasn't about like, oh, I just want a bunch of chicks, right? It's a couple things. One, it was a status thing, to an extent. Because think about a community, a village, kingdom, whatever. The men who are powerful, men who have resources, men who are educated, men who are warriors, they would deserve to populate their land with their seed, because the men who didn't have any of these things, their children would be liabilities of their communities, right? They would create fathers who are strong fathers, right? Whereas, let's say Genghis Khan back in the day, like, you know, he had thousands of children, but he was of resources, like to the highest degree. King Solomon, it's a lot of powerful men that had a lot of children, right? Now, a lot of that was, some of it was status. Also, some of it was like this. If you're at war, my brother, you go to war, right? You sell and you're not back in X amount of time. Yeah, you assume worse. So your wife and your children become my responsibility. See, that's how it is in different cultures and religions. And like, I'm a Muslim, and that's part of my culture. We're not leaving women out here to fend for themselves.